Hey, what's up? It's Mitch, and I'm tuning into here while I have the time and chance. Due to so yeah, I'll make the most of it, like I like to say. So today I'm going to be doing a tea recipe. Um, no doubt that this is not the highest quality tea. There are better quality teas out there. There are better quality loose leaf teas out there. But I'm just doing the best I can with what I have in the pantry right now. So the best that I got right now, I mean, probably better than a black tea would be a green tea, and even better would be a bad green tea, or even better than that would be like a loose leaf tea, or even better than that would be like a wild crafted loose leaf tea would probably be even better than that. Um, but as far as what I got in the pantry right now, I'm gonna do the best I can with what I've got, and that's kind of what I try to do with the best I can where I'm at with what I have. So for now, I'll show you what I got. Okay. So for now, I got some of this black tea right here. They come in tea bags. I've been doing the Rishicola tincture for a while. That is really good. And in the live hangout that I did show how I did that. It's pretty simple. Just drop that into a glass of purified water, mix it up, and then it's done. It's pretty easy. Or if I need to use a tool, then I swish it around with that. Sometimes I can just swish it around with my hand. And I'm gonna be adding in a little sweetener. So I'll be using in some of the palm sugar, coconut palm sugar as a sweetener into the tea instead of cane sugar. I still got some of the monk fruit sweetener in the other room. That's another one. That's a zero glycemic. But yeah, I do need some sugar, so I'll turn to the palm sugar in this one. And so I've already warmed up some of the water. Even better than the microwave would be like in a glass container on the stove, or even better than that would probably be like stoneware, warming up something in stoneware for brewing. Or even better than that might even be just to do a sun tea. Even better than that. But there, you know what? There's a billion ways you could do it, but go about it. Doing a tea, okay? But so for today, I'll be doing a tea using tea bags. So I got like that's how many I got in there. So this came in a 100 pack, and I'm down to like, I don't know, it doesn't really matter what I'm down to, but I'll be using 4 in here because I'm trying to fill up this whole glass thing here, so I can have some caffeine. And like I always say, instead of going to the store to buy more, you can do it at home. But yeah, sometimes it does require trips or transports to get the ingredients. But yeah, so alright, anyhow, moving on to the next step. So I've already warmed up some water. I did use the microwave, and there are better methods. I can see the steam coming off of that, so I know it's already reached boiling point. So, alright, I'll set that aside. Put the warm water up front. I'm going to open up the tea bags. Pretty simple. So drop it in there. I'll be doing 4 in here. Alright, so I got 4 tea bags in there. Alright, so see how it's already changing color there? See that? See how quickly steeping a tea bag in there changes the color of it? And I'm using the distilled water from the water distiller. And then you know what, there's this whole thing on, the spring water versus distilled water discussion, and I read through some articles on that tonight, and you know what, there's I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm not saying spring water is better than distilled water, and I'm not saying distilled water is better than spring water. You know, they both have their pros and cons. That's kind of what I've come to the conclusion. There's pros to the spring water, there's cons to the spring water. There's pros to the distilled water, and then there's cons to the distilled water. For the spring water, for me, that's a difficult thing because it takes it. That's far away. That's hella far away for me. So that's, I mean, and there's no reason why we can't have them both. There's no reason why we can't have the distilled water and the spring water. Why not? Okay, so, but for the best I can do is the distilled water, and that's the best I can do with what I got with where I'm at. One of the advantages though of distilled water is that it's like that blank tape thing. It's the most purified you can get it, and it's really good for extracting teas because of the purity of it. It solubilizes anything into it because of how pure it is. So I mean, see how quick? I mean, it dissolved that right away. I mean, boom. The black tea is completely solubilized in that, and then so there's like hella sediment in the spring water and stuff like that, and you got to watch out for bacteria and viruses and stuff like that. You know, also if you're gonna think like, oh, I'm gonna do wild water out in the wild, that's risk. There's a real risk in that one. I have not taken that risk. So for now, I'll just stick with the distilled water for now. And like I said, spring water has advantages and disadvantages. Distilled water has advantages and disadvantages also. And then, of course, we've all gotten over the whole, we all know the tap water is contaminated and whatnot, and even the RO, you know, has also contaminants, you know, and advantages and disadvantages. So, alright, so I'm extracting the tea here. So you know, each, you know, I'll read through the box on each one. So here, check it out here. Alright, so on the box, and like I said, it's not the best tea that you could possibly get because the loose leaf wild crafted would probably be even better than this. But I'm just doing the best I can where I'm at with what I got. Alright, okay. So it says, for a delicious cup of hot tea, bring fresh cold water to a rolling boil. Pour water over 1 tea bag and brew for 3 to 5 minutes. Alright, we're at film time. We're running at 8 minutes right now, so it's probably been about that time. Alright, so I try to fully extract everything out of the tea here, you know, to get all the goodness of the tea out into the water as much as I can. And like I say, you know, nothing's ever going to be 100% perfect, okay? And that's fine. Alright, so that's good enough, okay? Okay, so here's a concentrate of black tea. Okay, so to dilute it, well, also, you know what? I do know that like sugars are more soluble in water, so hotter water. So like I'll probably add in the sweetener first and then add the cool water. So okay, so I got the palm sugar here. I showed you last time how much I got left. This is what I got left here. This is good enough. I don't really need a lot of it. And I got another bag, you know, if I need more, okay? So, alright, so I'll pour a little bit in here. Alright, there we go. So there's some of that coconut palm sugar. It's a great alternative to the white sugar because this one's got minerals in it. Okay, all right, so there we go. So the coconut palm sugar, okay? All right, and that's how much I got left. I'll conserve it so that I can make it last, so that I can last. All right, so I'll put it in there, and then I can if it comes down to it, I could just do it straight up fast. But I got some responsibilities I got to do, so like totally fast. I could do that so long. I can fast for so long. All right, so moving on. All right, so I'm gonna solubilize the hot tea, mix it with the coconut palm sugar. So I'm doing that. So since it's at a warmer temperature, it sort of dissolves faster. Okay, so I got that. It still feels warm. Okay. All right, so now the next thing I'm gonna do is add in some cool water into here to raise it up a little, raise up the level a little bit. So I'll show you what I'm gonna do here. All right, so here's the water distiller, and I'm like I said about the spring water versus the distilled water debate. They both have their pros. They both have their cons. We all know the city water is hella contaminated. Okay, the RO is like probably even better than that. Better than there's the city water. There's the filtered water. The RO water. Depending on what filtration system, there's the distilled water that I'm using, and then there's spring water, okay, which is directly from the earth. That I have not had any experiences with that, okay? So for me, the best that I can do where I'm at with what I have is the distilled water, okay? And like I said, I store it in the glass. Power goes out, doesn't matter. Because the forces of gravity are always in effect. So that being said, I'll use it now, okay, with that tea. Okay, so here's the tea that I just showed you what I did, okay? So then I just churn it to the right, and then it fills up the cup. See? Well, like I said, no matter what happens in the universe, we get the force of gravity. So there we go. Force of gravity at work there. Boom, to the left, and then it stops. And there it is. It's a black tea with coconut palm sugar. Okay? And like I said, there's pros to spring water, there's cons to distilled water. There's pros and cons. I read some articles on it. There's pros and cons to distilled, there's pros and cons to spring water. And as I said before, I'm not near a spring, so that is it's out of reach.